Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Find Out What's in Pelenta Forrest. Grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea and spend the next few minutes with me. And what do I always say? Don't believe everything you hear and check your facts. Do your own research. What that means is everything that I say may not be entirely correct. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are saying? I think you do. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are talking? This is Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forrest. Imagine that. What's happening, everybody? How you doing? I am getting over a cold still. It seems like it just does not want to go away. You know, it's like you get sick. Everybody else has the flu. And they're sneezing all over you. And then before you know it, you're coming down with some icky that you cannot get rid of. So I'm fighting it off. Today we are going to talk about aging. Everybody is always up in the air about, oh my God, I'm 30. Oh no, I'm going to be 40. I'm 50. I turned 50 in January. And it's like, oh, my wrinkles, my eyes. Listen, let me tell you something. The harsh reality is you start out in kindergarten and you end up in the nursing home across the street. Okay? There's just no way to fight it. You know, just age gracefully, you know, eat right, start putting away the bad stuff because it's going to affect your skin. And men and women now are vain. The pressure of society, you have to look good all the time. You have to have a flat stomach. You know, if you're a woman, if you're a man, you got to be all ripped up. So there's a lot of pressure for you to always look your best. It's actually kind of sad because I think everybody is beautiful just the way they are. I don't think you need that additional, extra work. But anyway, here we're talking about getting a facelift. So it says here, if you imagine yourself as you looked decades back, and that makes you happy, a facelift may be your closest option to time travel. But is surgery necessary, and will it look natural? See, that's a key point right there. When you start having botox injections and getting facelifts and pulling and stretching your skin and stuff, is it natural? Now, I don't want to call out any names, but we have the cat lady, with all her plastic surgery. A lot of country singers and R&B and just vocalists have gotten, facelifts and Botox, and they've had horrendous results. So you have to really investigate when you, when you do this stuff. So it says here, while minimally invasive facial rejuvenation techniques like injectables and lasers are trending, results can vary depending on factors ranging from your particular expectations to the expertise of your dermatologist. But for facial rejuvenation, no technique is as powerful and long-lasting as a surgical facelift. So if you happen to go that route and you really think that you need it, what's the procedure like? Well, facelifts are typically performed under general anesthesia or sedation with local anesthesia. Now, surgery is outpatient and it typically takes 2 to 5 hours. Pain is somewhat relative. A facelift is indeed somewhat of a major surgical procedure, but typically a very well tolerated one. Now, right after surgery, most of your face will be numb from the anesthesia. And in the next 2 to 3 days, there is a significant amount of discomfort, but it is easily controlled through pain pills, narcotics, and here we go, the Percocet and the Vicodin. I've talked about drug addiction a lot on my show, and that is just how it starts. You have a surgery, you're in pain, you start popping them pills, and then you can't stop. Because, you know, most drug habits are prescription, you know, drug addictions. So you have to be real careful about that. Most people don't need narcotic pain medication, you know, for more than 2 to 3 days. So, you know, if you're just going 2 to 3 days, you might be okay, but then again, you might not. There are stitches, you know, that are removed at the 1 week mark. The recovery period, you know, you'll have swelling and bruising around the 3rd day. It's about 75 to 90% of the, you know, swelling is usually, you know, gone by then. And then you have another 14 to 21 days, some degree of additional settling of the tissues, because you have to think, you're upsetting the entire normal makeup of your face and your skin and everything. So you're usually looking at about maybe 6 months before it's all said and done. After about 2 to 3 weeks, you know, you can go back to your regular activities and everything. But results begin to become evident in the 2nd week after surgery. And by, excuse me, by the 3 or 4 week mark, you're looking at, you know, it's pretty obvious that you're healing well. And then at about 6 months, you know, you're good. Now, here's a question. How long will a well-done facelift last as far as beating the aging clock? Well, it says here, if your facelift is done the right way and not by some backdoor, you know, mechanic doctor with a greasy table and some plastic silverware, you know, it should last about, you know, 10 years. So, you know, that's pretty good. But here's something I found about Botox. And I wasn't aware of this because I'm a migraine sufferer, and I've been told umpteen times that now people are using Botox to treat migraines with great success. I've decided I'm not going to go that route because after reading this, kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. But here it says, what is Botox? What is its function, uses, procedures, the risks, and the side effects? Okay, Botox is used medically to treat certain muscle conditions. You know, cosmetically to remove wrinkles. It temporarily paralyzes muscles. But get this, it is made from a neurotoxin called botulinum. And that is produced by the bacterium, excuse me, Clostridium of the botulinum, if I'm pronouncing that right. Now, get this. Botox is a very powerful poison. Did you know that? Now listen at this. Botox is the most popular non-surgical cosmetic treatment with more than 6 million Botox treatments administered each year. Now, the Botox is a neurotoxin derived from the Clostridium botulinum organism found in your natural environment, where it is largely inactive and non-toxic. So it goes from being poison to non-toxic. But listen to this. It is used to reduce fine lines and tiny wrinkles by paralyzing the underlying muscles. People also use Botox to treat excessive sweating, migraines, muscular disorders, and some bladder and bowel functions. Now, botulism is an illness caused by the botulinum toxin, and it can cause respiratory failure and prove deadly. Now, listen at this, you guys. 1 gram of botulinum toxin could kill over 1 million people. Can you believe that? I mean, good grief. Is this nuclear? Good grief. And 2 kilograms could kill the entire human population on Earth. That is what you are injecting into you in minute doses, of course, to get rid of your vein wrinkles, you know? So, it can be found in soil, lakes, forest. The bacterium can also be found in the intestinal tracts of mammals and fish, in the gills and organs of crabs and other shellfish. Such naturally occurring instances of this toxin, the spores are generally harmless. Problems only arise when the spores transform into vegetative cells and the cell population increases. Well, I would like to know, what is it that pushes it over the Botox edge into the vegetative state to make it so deadly? At a certain point, the bacteria begins producing botulinum toxin, the deadly neurotoxin responsible for botulism, But the neurotoxins target the nervous system, disrupting the signal process that allows neurons to communicate effectively. So see, the toxin is one of the most poisonous substances known to man. Botulinum toxin is the most poisonous substance known to man. I said that twice because that is just amazing. And it's just shocking to me how we have so much stuff at our fingertips that works for good, and it can also kill you. Now, scientists have estimated that a single gram, I already said this, but they're saying it again, a single gram could kill as many as 1 million people. Good grief. And 2 could kill every human on Earth. You know what? That sounds so weird. Now, you would think that with this being such public knowledge, that a terrorist or somebody, because, terrorists aren't like dummies. Most of them are quite smart. What they're doing is not very smart, but most of them have a brain. A lot of them had 4.0 grade averages, never did a drug in their life, and they got hooked up with the ISIS and just went bananas. But, when you hear stuff like this, and it kind of makes you wonder, why haven't the terrorist or some other crazy, deranged person gotten a hold of this stuff and wreaked havoc with it? It's life-threatening. And then, of course, botulism, left untreated, can result in respiratory failure, death, the whole 9 yards. So let me tell you some of the risks and the side effects of using the Botox, because the procedure is administered by diluting the powder in a saline and then injecting it directly into the neuromuscular tissue. And it takes about 24 to 72 hours for it to take effect. And in a very rare circumstance, it might take as long as 5 days. But, you see the movie, I think it was The First Wives Club, when Goldie Hawn went and got to Botox and her lips were all, just all swollen and crazy looking. Well, that was its side effect. So injecting the toxin, it's generally well tolerated by most people, okay? But there are a few side effects in rare cases. And an individual may have a genetic predisposition that results in a mild, transient, unusual response to the drug. Now, there's only about maybe 1% of people receiving the injections develop antibodies to the toxin that makes the treatment, subsequently ineffective. But along with its intended effects, botulinum toxin may cause some other unwanted effects. And these side effects, for you wanting to not have wrinkles, these side effects, you could have fluid buildup, reddening of the skin at the injection site, numbness, headache, nausea, temporarily paralyze your muscles, your upper lip might start to droop, weakness of your lower eyelid, neck weakness, flu-like symptoms, gallbladder dysfunction, bleeding, blurred vision, decreased eyesight, dry mouth, fatigue, hives, rashes, wheezing, swelling. There's something to be said about vanity. And I know we all want to look good, especially if you're single. You want to look good. But let me tell you, when you want to look good, investigate what you are doing to yourself. Look up the side effects of these injections and facelifts and get your weight loss, quick fixes and stuff like that. You guys, you got to read the fine print, okay? Because it's up to you. If you don't read what's going on, you might be in for one heck of a ride. You see a lot of these stars that keep on getting all this Botox and all this kind of stuff. Look at the way they look. I think most of them, if they could turn back the hands of time, they would turn the clock back to before they decided to get the facelift and the Botox. That's how they don't want to turn the clock back. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think you look marvelous, just like you are. Everybody has beauty in their own right. And like the saying goes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I am so very grateful for everything, and I am grateful for you too. So look at yourself in the mirror and just tell yourself how beautiful you are. You don't need anybody else to tell you that you're beautiful, because you are. My book is available at all bookstores. You can find me on Instagram. I no longer have Facebook, but I do have Instagram and I do have email. So if you want to talk to me, hit me up. Have a great day, everybody. Be good to one another. Be kind. Be sweet. I'll see you next time on Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forest.